So I came up with this message a while ago, and one day I was on the bus scrolling through Instagram, actually, and I saw this post, and it was just a quote or something, and it was asking, how would you explain the world to a blind person, or a blind man, it said. And on this bus, it was very bumpy, okay, and I was on my notes on my phone, and I was just like typing up what I'm thinking because I didn't know what this could be. I was like, this could be maybe a small devotional, maybe, like, that was my lowest idea, and I never thought I would, like, turn it into a message. So, point is, people are blind to what's actually around them. I'm thinking sometimes that people only see what they want to see, or they only see from them. They're blind from it. But when we don't see the blessings in life, we tend to see the curses. So if we're taught that everything is terrible and there's nothing good, then we'll always see that. You have to get something to change your mind about that. I'm going to read Matthew 15:14, and this is where Jesus is talking to the offended Pharisees. He says, "Leave them alone. They are blind leaders. When one blind person leads another, both fall into the same pit." This is saying that whoever is guiding you or whoever is leading you right now, if they're blind and you're blind, you both will go down the same hill. You have to follow someone who's not blind because they will lead you to somewhere higher and somewhere greater than you already are, and there's always somewhere to go. I'm going to read Luke 6:47-49. And Jesus says, "I will show you what everyone who comes to me, hear what I say, and obeys it like. He is like a person who dug down into bedrock or rock to lay a foundation of his home. When a flood came, the flood waters pushed against the house, but the house couldn't be washed away because it had a good foundation. The person who hears what I say but doesn't obey it is like someone who built a house on ground without any foundation. The floodwaters pushed against it, and the house quickly collapsed and was destroyed." We have to have a strong foundation to withstand all these pressures, these stresses, school, peer pressure. We have to have a solid foundation in God to stand firm during these times, because if we don't, we'll be washed away with everyone else, and we'll be washed away what everyone else thinks we are and what they want us to be. We will not be ourselves. We will be what everyone else wants us to be. Because now we are blind from the truth. If you don't have a solid foundation, you will be blind from the truth, because being blind means you can't see the truth, and then you're kind of just stuck in one spot, and you will be washed away with all these things that are happening around you. You can't stand still if you don't have a foundation that will keep you still. If there was a blind person, how would you explain the world to him? There are different people out there, different circumstances, different families, different places. There's so many different perspectives on people and what they see the world as. Will you explain it to be happy or sad? There are different perspectives. So saying that if you're blind, I'm going to use my family as an example because that's the closest to me. And if you're blind, you may see only the outside of this. Your perspective would be, oh, they're not that rich. It's a pastor's home. They're all perfect. My perspective is completely different. I live inside this home. I see everything that goes on. I see we are not perfect, but we'll try to be like Jesus. Are you going to tell the blind person what you want to happen or what's actually happening in life? Are you going to tell them the reality or a dream? Is your perspective happy or sad? If this blind person can't see, you have to be able to lead them through the darkness. You have to give them hope. if all you say is sadness and, hey, this world sucks, nothing's good about it, you're never going to get anywhere, well, you've kind of just put that blind person in a spot where they'll never go anywhere either. Just because you are the blind person leading this other blind person, and it goes nowhere. So what are you going to tell him? Well, I would tell him the small things that make me happy and the positives and all of these negatives, because even though there's so many sad things and so many corrupted places and things in this world, there's still goodness that comes out of everything that's here. No matter what we do, no matter what we say, it's just going to be like that. Are you going to tell the blind person about the small things that make you happy or the humongous big problems in the world that everyone focuses to? I think if you can't be content with the small things in your life, how will you ever be content with the big things? You're getting blessed all the time, but will you be thankful for it? See, I have this coffee cup up here because I wanted to use it as an example. I'm happy because I have a cup of coffee. I've been blessed this morning, and I've been given free coffee, and I have chosen to make me happy and joyful today. And this cup of coffee represents Jesus. Because when Jesus is there and he's free, we get him all the time, but will you appreciate him, and will you take it for granted? Because many people don't see that. And then I feel sad for them because it's right in front of your eyes. And they might already have it, but they're just not thankful for it. And if you can't appreciate any of these small things, if you can't appreciate the small blessings that God has given you in your life, then how will you even expect a big thing to happen? I don't think it will. Maybe all these small things are adding up to your big thing, but no. You won't be thankful for any of these small things, so you won't even realize the big blessing that's happened in your life. If you can't see happiness in your small things, then maybe you have to find someone that can help you see it, because you are blind in this, okay? If you can't see that a cup of coffee makes you happy, you are absolutely blind. Okay? I mean, it doesn't have to be coffee. It could definitely be like hot chocolate or tea or whatever suits you. But it should make you happy. I don't see why not. And if you really, really can't see this, then please go find someone that can. Because they will help you to see what you're missing out on and what you should be able to see, even though you can't. These small things will make you joyful. If you don't take advantage of any of the small things, you will never be happy, okay? You'll never be joyful. You'll never have what you wish you had. You would just be dreaming of it. If you really want it, go get it. Like, it's right there. And it's always there. God is always there for us. But we don't see it, so we don't engage in it. And we're stuck. And we have to realize that we all are blind at times. We all have these patches where no matter what, we're blind. And that's why we have other people around us to show us, hey, we are blind. And they will show us and they will talk us out of it, because we have to see the truth and we have to see what we're doing. I'm going to read John 9:39. Then Jesus told him, I entered this world to render judgment, to give sight to the blind, and to show those who think they can see that they are blind. Some of you may think you can see, okay? But really, you're blind. You're absolutely blind to what's around you, and you don't realize it. So when someone comes up to you and they tap you on the shoulder and they're like, hey, did you realize this? And you're like, what? Well, there, you have realized you are blind. But we have to, sometimes we are forced into situations like peer pressures or stresses and even social media, bullying, anything. We are pushed into these situations and we don't see the end of it because we are absolutely blind. So this is where you either have good family members, you have good church family members, friends that you trust will pull you out of it. They'll open your eyes for you, or they will lead you out. I'm going to read John 14:17. That helper is the Spirit of truth. The world cannot accept him, but it doesn't see him or know him. You know him because he lives with you and will be in you. This helper is the Spirit of truth. These are the people who come into your life and shine a light on you and show you the way out. They will open your eyes and show you the truth because you've been blind this whole time. Because when you're blind, all you see is lies. You have to go and see the truth. And if you can't see it, someone else has to show you. I find I get blind quite often. It happens on a regular occurrence, and I hate it. And I wish I knew how to get out of it by myself, but I don't. And this is where I'm super thankful to have my dad and my mom. They kind of they notice it first, right? Because they notice I'm acting different or I'm falling into a trap because I'm blind from it. I'm blind from what's happening. And they'll tell me about it. And I'm just, what? No, this is not happening. I'm in denial, guys. No. And then I realize I was blind. I was completely blind. And they help me out of it. And if you don't have parents that you can talk to, because I know I'm really lucky to have parents that I can talk to about everything in my whole life, then there are other people. There's pastors, friends that you really trust and have good advice. And there are other people. But you have to, accept what they're saying. You can't deny it because sometimes they are true, and sometimes you have to take their advice and realize you are blind. Because if you don't realize it, you could be stuck in blindness for your whole life. That would be pretty sad. So are you blind? How are you going to explain this world to a blind person? If you're going to explain it all sad and terrible and that there's no good, stop out of it. That's completely stupid. You have to share the good things that come along with these bad things because most times the good things will overrule the bad. And almost all the time. If you're trusting in God and you know what to do, you can pull ahead through anything. You can withstand through anything. You can do anything. So change your perspective and give this blind person some hope that maybe you don't have. And now my dad will do the other half of the message.